No pressure, but we're being recorded.
We are.
No pressure.
Did everybody here sign? Did everybody sign a release here?
I did not.
You did not? Okay. I don't have the releases.
It's okay.
Can I
Later,
get
yeah.
your verbal consent?
Yes, I verbally on tape. Marcia Tulio.
State your name. Okay.
Marcia
good.
Tulio. Agree.
So maybe we can just go get like around one more time, just to kind of introduce ourselves and yeah, that's okay. So I'll start real quick. So my name is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
I'm kind of new to Filipino Mental Health Initiative, but I work for the City and County of San Francisco as a crisis clinician. I'm also the LGBTQ commissioner for San Mateo County. Thank you. I think Rovi told you to help me, probably. I don't know anyway. Not that you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, you're supportive.
Yeah.
Supportive. Anyway, and yeah, I just try to be an all around good feels kind of person.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then you can point left or right.
Okay, I can start on this side or this way. Jocelyn Manolo, I'm currently on the City Council for City of Daly City. I grew up in Daly City since the age of 8 years old. And so having a space like the Filipino Mental Health Initiative, but actually having a center is huge, given the population that we have currently of youth in the city. And I think that there is a vacuum and gap around having that space, and I think wellness is so important in as a youth growing up. And if I were to look back, if you were to have like the support systems and actually being able to talk about all these issues in a safe space, around your cultural identity and just who you are, coupled with what's going on here around social enterprise is huge. I think it's innovative and also responsive to the community needs. So I'm here in full support and really, how can I help, and also willing to brainstorm with all of you today.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. So yeah, my name is Willie Canandang. I'm a restaurateur caterer. So we migrated in America in 2000. So I started as a busboy. So a busboy, a waiter, and my first business was a catering company in San Bruno. A catering company and a commercial kitchen for the Filipino favorite lechon. So we are now the number one supplier of lechon in the Bay Area. So that's where we started, 2004. that's my first business. I'm just one of the owners, because there are 4 owners. So I'm one of the owners, which is the 3 owners are my employer before. They are my boss, and then they became my partner in business. And then that was 2004, and then 2008 I started another restaurant with another partner, which is Taste Buds in San Bruno, known for lechon also. And then Hapag Filipino in 2014, where we do caterings, private parties, but we're focused on catering, where we cater a big event like for 500 people, 300 people. So that's our, like, I would say, the bread and butter of Hapag Filipino, which is off-site catering. And well, it's a family run business with my wife and my 3 children. They are culinary graduates, so they're supporting me.
Your daughter's here, huh?
Yeah. She's a singer chef. She also sing. Well, I would say professionally, because she sing for, well, she's being paid for singing. By singing.
That's
You get a paycheck. That's awesome. Yeah. Technically.
More money in singing than cooking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very
So
talented.
that's
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Where are you from in the Philippines, Kuya?
I'm from Batangas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Batangas.
Okay.
I'm Karandang. So.
Karandang. I'm
Yeah.
Dugong Alae also.
Oh.
My mother, yeah.
You're from Batangas?
Yeah, my mom.
Oh, yeah, I'm just to add. So we were victim of the Taal volcano
Yes.
eruption, and we had the fundraiser for the Taal evacuees. I did it at Hapag Filipino, and our goal is to raise $10,000 for the evacuees, and we're able to raise that more than 10,000. So we got 12,000, and we sent it to the Philippines. 606,000 pesos.
Oh, bless you.
Because
That's
of the
awesome.
alae.
Yeah, alae.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm Anton Delfino. I grew up in the Bay Area, in the East Bay, but I'm actually a little new to Daly City. My wife is basically grew up here. So we were in LA and then moved back in 2015. I am I guess my background professionally is video production and more recently podcast production with John Yap over there, who's basically my podcast partner. I'm here because John invited me, and he thought that it would be a good discussion to be at, to meet different other entrepreneurs. Because I'm a freelancer, it's always good to kind of be around this energy. So happy to be here. Happy to contribute whatever I can.
Can I ask you how many kids you have?
I have
'Cause you
two.
mentioned-
Yes, I have 2 kids, a 6-year-old daughter and a 3.5-year-old boy.
Ooh, fun. You're busy.
Yes.
They're young, yeah.
The younger one was giving lots of trouble.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm a little happy to be out.
Yeah. No
Great.
kids. I like that. No kids. Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
My name is Michael Sagum. I am a Skyline student right now. It's my first year. And
Other side.
Other
This
side.
Other side. Yes, yeah, you're good.
and I do a lot of either graphic design work or poetry surrounding like Filipino identity.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Marcia. I'm originally from here, born and raised, but I have been living in the Philippines for a long time now. Yeah, I moved to the Philippines with my husband. He's over there in group 3. Yeah, Steph is one of my best friends and one of my oldest friends. And so we have been talking about this kind of stuff for a long, long time, ever since we were like, kids. Yeah, and so just happy to be here. I'm happy to be meeting all you people that she tells me so much about. But yeah, I go back and forth to the Philippines. My husband and I have a foundation. We live in Bacolod, part-time, Bacolod City, in the Visayas, and then we also live here part-time. We moved here, my family, my 2 boys and my husband and I, moved back here in 2000. When was that?
A year ago?
Maybe like 2018. Yeah, 2018 to help care for my parents who are elderly. Yeah, and so we're back here, but we're also there. Do a lot of community work over there. Try to do a lot of community work over here, just because being Filipino American and then living in the Philippines for a long time and coming back. We really have such a heart for Filipino Americans who are very disconnected from the Philippines and their Filipino culture.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of back and just do what we do, and we just love the Philippines. We love America. We have been, we straddle both countries, and we have a blast doing it. My boys really, really relate to being Filipino and American, so I feel very blessed to be able to, raise them that way. Yeah, so I'm going to the Philippines next month. We're going for a spring break because my kids are now in school here. Yeah. So we do spring break and summer vacations over there. And my husband is more back and forth, tending to the businesses and the foundation and all that. So we're happy to be here. So,
How old are your boys?
yeah, I'm sorry.
How old are your boys?
9 and just turned 13. I am a teenager now. I'm a teenager who likes shoes and gear. Yeah, so I'm like, you better come up with a business in the Philippines, boy. It's not cheap, man. Shoe game, keep it tight. Make a business. So I should invite him next meeting.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Mayan. Steph is my wife. I grew up, born and raised in the Philippines. Grew up in a really small rural farming community up in Ilocos Norte. Came here when I was 8, 9 years old. Grew up in LA and moved up to San Francisco 2001. And in Los Angeles, there's a very tight-knit Filipino community, which doesn't really exist in LA. And that was part of my kind of identity of I was also lost in being like Filipino American. So this stuff, the things that Steph always talks about, there's a lot of stories that are very similar to everyone's here at the table. And it's just about listening and having these young adults being heard and having a not just a center, but a place to feel accepted without any judgment whatsoever, right? So I've been up here in San Francisco since 2001. I went to law school, did the whole typical, you have to be a professional to kind of make it in this world. And I figured out in 2008 I wanted to start from scratch. I actually wanted to do something that has an effect in the community. So now I work with Salesforce.org, doing marketing events, and it's kind of cool hearing all these stories because I'm literally taking everything that I'm learning from my job and kind of like putting into this. So I feel very privileged and blessed to be part of such a great community, and hearing everybody's stories here, it really inspires me to even do much more. So.
And you guys got a babysitter, you're here.
I know.
You almost have to watch the baby. But he's here.
Our son is 3.5, and he's with Lola and Lola, so I totally understand.
Hi guys, I'm Kat Mendaros. I am a mortgage broker.
Sorry, could I just, sorry to put it on y'all, but could you move this
walking.
whoever is talking. Sorry for...
The microphone is right here at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's at the top.
So this
galing.
pointing to whoever's speaking.
There you go.
Thank you. So I am a mortgage broker. I focus mostly on residential loans. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, do a lot of refinances, especially right now. The rates are amazing. I'm also the president of the Filipino American Real Estate Professionals Association. It's so long. We call it FORIPA. It's a lot easier to remember. In the peninsula, so San Mateo. So I grew up in the East Bay, but so many of my clients are over here. So I go here all the time. I'm up here at least like a couple times a week. We have an office in Burlingame. And whenever I talk to Crystal, I always kind of see what she's doing, and it always looks like, it always inspires me. And so I'll kind of ask her a little bit. We had a conversation like, I'd love to, find a way to contribute. And then she invited me here, and I actually didn't really know too much about what was going on, but she explained it to me. And it's so interesting and unique. I feel like it's so forward thinking. And so I don't really quite know yet how I will play into it, but if there's any way that I could be a thought partner at the very least, or if there's any way I could pool my own resources or network to kind of promote this idea or help things come together, I'd love to be a part of it, even if it's in just a small capacity, because it sounds amazing and it does sound very needed, and I think that what it will eventually do will just spread so much good to pretty much the whole community, and I know that will trickle down for generations. So I'm excited and I'm happy to be here.
Last but not least.
I spoke earlier already. But I think in relationship to what you guys are doing here, I used to work with Michael Mineta, Asian American Recovery Services. I majored in psychology, even before all the entrepreneurship and all that. At the same time, having 2 businesses in San Francisco, and where you see that everywhere. One of the branches that we just opened is on South Venice. It's the same building. It's called Mission Hotel. It's the largest SRO in California.
Still operating SRO.
Yes. They house many people there with mental health issues, and a lot of people ask me, why do you want to open one up there? The building is right, and I always tell them exactly why I'm here. You know, same thing with Jones location. We used to, we do free soup for the neighborhood once a
just saw
month.
that. That's exciting,
Yeah, free
yeah.
soup for the neighborhood. That's what we do also on the side. It's just once a month, but it's bringing in people, the neighbors together, not just the homeless people or people that need it. Even you see tourists coming because they think that we're open, but they're like, oh, I want to order this. No, it's free. It's free today, and they couldn't believe it. That's just bringing everyone together because we believe that homelessness, it's very complicated. But I came up with it's just BK. I think homelessness, addiction and all that is just a part of the symptom, right? But I think it's once you become unitless, when you don't have the unit or the people that support you, that's when you turn into these things. I think that's the start of, isolating yourself and turning into different things. So it's very important that you have that unit. And gathering like this is very, very important because I think for the longest time here in Daly City, although I know we know a lot of people here, we have a lot of organizations, Entrepreneur, Kusina Alliance and things like that. But that's practically inclusive of everyone. But in Daly City, I think this is one of, I'm sure there's a lot of platforms already that we do, but mental health, entrepreneurship, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's not. This is the first of its making. So that's what's really interesting about it.
Exciting.
Yeah. So thank you all of you for coming here because I feel like that is what's so different and what I was trying to explain even just to Kat when she was like, "What did I walk into?" I'm like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's for the community. Yeah. So there are some questions. Thank you everybody for introducing themselves. But there are some questions that I kind of want to get through just to kind of help with the brainstorming piece. So again, this is being recorded because you guys have the big brains, right? Like you guys are the brains. We're mental health people, but you guys are the ones who are like, hey, we want to make sure that this is something that, since you guys are so successful already, we also want to be successful with making sure that mental health does have a place here in San Mateo County, specifically for Filipinos. So that's what we want to build. So thank you so much. First question is current situation and the economic climate. As entrepreneurs, business or community leaders, how would you describe the current economic climate with regards to Filipino businesses in Daly City, South San Francisco? And are there aspects of our culture that have shaped this climate? I can read that again if you need me to. It's kind of a big question. As entrepreneurs, business, or community leaders, how would you describe the current economic climate with regards to Filipino businesses in Daly City, South San Francisco? And are there aspects of our culture that have shaped this climate? We're talking about the economic climate right now.
I'll answer that. Sure. I mean, based on what we do.
Absolutely.
I think as soon as coming from the finance, Merrill Lynch, it's always important to me to see the economic, atmosphere, both in Daly City and in San Francisco. For the longest time, it's completely different. One, because of the minimum wage. It's so different. When that happened, just this year, right? They increased almost $2, almost $2. For a small business like ours, that $2 is at least almost 10 grand a month. We're probably not feeling that yet. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing because that means a lot of people from Daly City, they don't have to travel so far anymore to look for jobs that would pay a little more, right? Because time is translated into money, and time is translated also into having a quality life, spending time with your family and also with your own interest. Now, in terms of economic climate, I think we have a microeconomics here in the Bay Area. Daly City is not excluded. Microeconomics meaning it's different from everyone else. I spoke with an economics professor at USF, and I'm a little bit concerned with what's going on, what's going to happen, because we're directly affected right away. We offer jobs to people, but at the same time, with the lifestyle and the standard of living that we have here, it's just not making it. It's difficult. Like, oh, I want to open a business. I mean, if you talk to a lot of restaurateurs here, the question is like, how much is your labor, right? And at the same time, cost of goods are going up also. Commodities are going up. Kuya Willie knows that. We get affected, but we take the hit because we cannot raise prices. If we raise prices, we're the same as the landlords that would rack up their rent plus $1,000, increase. So one good thing that's going on with entrepreneurs is that we're getting better. We're getting better in terms of managing our own our businesses. We are able to pass on leadership skills that no longer you'd need to hire more people, but you make them versatile. But at the same time, provide them with competitive benefits. But I think it works well with what we do at Shallows, because now they are part not just a restaurant or a business, but at the same time we do more than that. We mentor people. It just so happened that, oh my gosh, people actually look for companies now that values things that businesses that has those kind of substance. If that didn't happen, to tell you the truth, I don't know if we're still here. It's difficult, but at the same time, it's a challenge for us. What's gonna happen 6 months from now? I don't know. That's how, even before you adapt with change, things are changing already. It's like, oh my God, you really have to keep up as an entrepreneur here in I'll be specific, in Daly City. Well, it's not, again, it's the same thing in San Francisco. But believe it or not, people that live in Daly City, they don't want to work in San Francisco. Even if the pay is less. I don't understand why for the longest time, but they realize that, you know what, the time is more important. And I'm glad that people are realizing that now. Even if I tell them like, hey, you're gonna get paid, just tips alone, $200 more every day, right? And then like, nah, it's not worth my time. You can't get them to leave Daly City. Like, if they work here, they want to work here. And believe it or not, I don't lose people in Daly City, but it's people that the turnaround of employees in San Francisco is so quick. Here in Daly City, no, they stay.
Anybody else?
Well, one thing I think I want to add on a different lens around the economics within Daly City or whatnot, or within the city of Daly City, is that's related to the economics that you're talking about. Is there's never been like a small business commission ever in Daly City, and so one of the things that I talked about when I first ran was starting a small business commission, because to have a voice for the small businesses in our communities, ensuring that what can we do as partners in the city of Daly City to hear, understanding that many of the businesses are community members in Daly City. So that's something coming down the pipeline. There's 5 seats. We're looking for people that want to get involved. But even if you're not on the commission, it's a platform to talk about exactly that. Whether you're starting a restaurant, or what is it? What's hindering? I know it's the prices, but how can we help in that partnership? Understanding that if there are like vacant storefronts, why, and how do we facilitate kind of understanding. Number one, like I hear from others, like I want to start a business in Daly City, and so one thing is I'm telling staff in the city of Daly City, like we need to have a place where if someone wants to start a business, it's easy and accessible, and they know like, hey, this is where the vacant places are, this is how you get your business license. I mean, those particular pieces shouldn't be hard. And as elected official, like I'm trying to gather these pieces. It doesn't make sense. So we're trying to do that where it's easy for folks to access. I mean, that's a small piece of it, but that's in the works. And then also, I think, Daly City is unique in itself that we have many more homes. They call us a bedroom community, and not a lot of like large like businesses. Our number one employer is Kusina Hospital, right? So it's very unique, but there is that opportunity to enhance and shine the businesses in the area, and I'm a huge proponent for that. Always envision kind of all the areas to be enhanced with community together, right? Like, so when I look at top of the hill Daly City, I see it as like there is such opportunity here to build. Like, it's not just a pass through. It shouldn't just be a pass through. I mean, like, if we were able to work together, like, how could we envision a space and place where there's thriving businesses that are serving community? So those are, this with health and wellness and like young people being able to have a space. And I was sharing that earlier, not to be confined, right? Like, to be able to dream and feel safe and like actually see themselves as business owners or entrepreneurs is huge. And so that's why this is definitely what was mentioned, right? Forward thinking and how do we cultivate that? And so those are just some facts I wanted to share around what we're doing with the city.
Cool. Anybody have any other input?
I did want to. I'm glad to hear that, because when I moved back in 2015, one of the first things I did was like, okay, cool. I know that I want to be a freelancer. I want to start my own like video production, videography company, and I did run into those struggles of like, okay, let me check the website. There was information there, but I had to do the work to figure out where do I go to get the business license? What do I actually need? I was looking at meetup.com, and it was just like, start your own, entrepreneur meetup in Daly City. Like, there wasn't one there. And so I was like, okay, cool. Now I have to go to San Jose or into the city. So I'm glad to hear that this initiative is happening, because for someone like me, I'm a little older, so it's great that there's a focus on youth, but also for people who are shifting careers, just like what Jason was talking about, like, hey, something happens, people want to, I'm sure there's like so many people who are forced, particularly Filipinos, who are forced into a particular career from parents and things like that, but they want to follow their passion, but the roadblocks where they want to make the roadblocks to actually execute that on your own, like, that might make people think, oh, maybe it's too hard, or I don't want to take that risk because the resources aren't around, or like the help, and I think for me, I mean, like, having at least a space or a group of people to just kind of like have some ideas to bounce off of, like, that's very, very helpful.
Absolutely.
So it's really good to hear that this is happening.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing too. I mean, having a commission for that in general, I mean, as a commissioner like myself, like, one of the first things I've ever heard that stuck with me as a commissioner was, if there's no seat for you at the table, bring your own chair. So I feel like that's kind of like what we need to do, is we need to bring our own chair, and I feel like this venture is bringing our own chair to the table. So all right, so the next question is, what can create a more cohesive network of Filipino business owners and entrepreneurs here in Daly City, South San Francisco? And what are the current challenges? What can increase economic and entrepreneurial collaboration? So what can create a more cohesive network of Filipino business owners and entrepreneurs here in Daly City, South San Francisco?
I think things like this, getting like-minded individuals together, doing a regular thing, is an invaluable resource, like you were saying. And I saw on the schedule that we're going to have networking time later towards the end. So again, that's just one aspect of what is so important about this, just the networking. Something that I find interesting, and it's a little bit like this in the Philippines. Oh, thank you. Is I want to know why I never know about any of this stuff here. Like, I heard about Chilogs. I was in the Philippines, and then Chilogs opened, And then I went and I loved it. Now every time we have relatives, like I have relatives from LA right now, you know, they're like, well, let's go to Cholos. I'm like, yeah, you know, because there's like always like 15 of us that go, and everyone can eat something. Even my son that loves like, you know, hot dogs and like fake, you know, longanisa, like even my kid can get something there. But I want to know why, like, I never know about like any of this stuff. Like, you know, you're a restaurant, like I haven't seen too much about it. And really like my resource in this community here in America, you know, because again, I've been like back and forth living in the Philippines, is been Steph. Steph has been the one that has been telling me like, oh, there's this cool thing you should check out, or like, oh, there's this restaurant you know should check out, and this and that, you know. But I would really like to see kind of like more of a, is it marketing? Is it like there's Undiscovered? That's something that I just went to, you know, moving back from the Philippines. Like I love that, but I feel like not enough Filipinos, Filipino Americans in the community know about it, know about that kind of stuff. So I would really like to see something you know, like that, where information is, you know, ready and available. You know, because there's so many cool things going on, and so many people wanting to do things here in the community, but I just never know about it.
I mean, I don't quite know, but I think
I can answer that.
Yeah, I was about like maybe
with another question. No, I'm kidding. No, I think one, it's not an excuse. I think people that are you know, spearheading these things and wanting to collaborate are already busy enough. So like, you know, they're doing their own thing. They want to make it. They want to start something. In the restaurant or in the food industry, I think it's more specific because you do have a foundation. I think we all, if our common denominator is how we want to help. I think we're here with that reason. Now, this is a daily, you know, like, oh, this is a food thing. Oh, now this is a real estate thing. Now this is a small business thing. Now this is a daily city thing. Now it's a mental. Now, is there like one hub in where, you know what, we just want to help. And I bring in my expertise. You know, we have Entrepanay, and actually Jason, Frozen Caster guy, hates Entrepanay because like, but I want to hang out with you up Pinay. You know what I mean? Like, Jason, you're not invited. Right? And, you know, it's like, I think we do our own thing and we want to associate ourselves with another thing, but there's no one thing in where covers and encompasses and where, you know what, we're Filipinos, let's meet up, bring in whatever your expertise, you know, maybe we can bring it together. I think mental health, for example, I don't want to go out of that topic because that's what you guys do. And how is that important? I'll tell you, 3 of our cooks before, now chefs, gone through drug abuse. And while they were at Shellogs, we really invested our time with them, with their change, with their, you know, own decision, and witnessing their transformation, and encourage them, you know, and seeing their potential, and treating them as leaders already, not waiting for them to be leaders. So that's very, very important. And if you do your own thing, freelance, you have your own businesses, there's, yes, I said responsibility. We have that ability to respond. We're the salt and the light. You do your own thing. You're a leader in your own respective expertise. Then do something, you know. Now, now this meeting says Kusina Talks. It's just focusing on food, maybe restaurant. But at the same time, I see it more than that.
I mean, it's definitely meant to be more than that. It really is just getting, like you said, people like-minded. There is a lack of coordination, right? Like lack of coordination. I mean, even when you think about politics and government, there aren't that many Filipino leaders in government. You know, I think Jesselyn is one of the first ever Filipino mayors in San Francisco, female, right? And so, like, I think saying yes is important. There's something where I think it's also important to, if you know of somebody's business, even if they're your competition, you know, like promote them, like help them out as well, you know, and like
lift each other up.
Yeah, exactly, lift each other up. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing here right now.
In regards to what you're saying, we actually drafted a step-by-step how to open a restaurant, and we're providing that to, I don't know if you know Francis Ann, like you know, before you go to health, you go to you know go to Secretary of State first, take set up your entity, and then you go to your bank, and then you like really this is the steps that you do.
That's good.
Because we had to do that on our own, and I cried many times in the city of Daly City. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? If I can make it easier for you, because I don't believe in competition at all. I believe in domination. Dominating the area of your expertise, not anyone. You know, you're good in what you do. You help people up. I mean, you don't lose anything. I mean, I think that comes from insecurity. We're here. I say that because that's the objective anyway.
No, that's great.
That is
like,
good.
So,
Who you want to say something about?
when Miss Lisa opened it, when Diana opened it, I'm like, oh my God, this manual costs thousands of dollars.
Invaluable.
Yes, but you have free to copy. Go for it, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want a copy of that.
Information, I know.
Well said. Well, I just want to add something. Chel knows that restaurateur like us, so we're so busy. So we're busy. But what brought me here? It was Steph invitation. And how did I met Steph? Because of the catering. I catered Steph's parents. So I can say no. So I don't expect anything. But I don't expect what will transpire. No? But during Consul General Painor, of the Philippine Consulate, he invited all of us entrepreneurs, like the owners of Intramuros, Luneta, Tepoling, a lot of restaurateurs. So, and then he wants to have an association among the Filipino restaurateurs. But after 2 meetings, it's all gone. I don't know what happened, but we restaurateurs, we're not friends, but we're not enemies. We try to help each other. Like me as a supplier of lechon, a lot of Filipino restaurants ordered from me. So after getting the lechon from me, it's not lechon catering, it's not taste buds, it's whatever restaurants. So it's theirs. So we're not competing, but I tried to help. We try to help each other. So because I do believe, you're well. It shows insecurity if you're competing with other restaurants. Like, well, Chelog, they're famous with their breakfast, silog. We also have breakfast, but it's not our specialty. So we have other specialty like Boracay. They also serve, maybe they also serve a breakfast, but their specialty is not Chelog's specialty. So as long as each restaurant have their own, people will go to the restaurant. So it's so sad that some restaurants close down. Like, because to start a restaurant, that's a lot of money, time, effort, and money. So it's so sad. Like a Filipino restaurant closed down after a year, after 2 years. Do you know the Marvin Agustin's restaurant in San Francisco? Bow Down. How much is the investment for that restaurant? That's million. And then after a few months, they closed down. It's so sad. So, and like Chelogs, they're so successful. They have branches. So our restaurants were 12 years in business. So my catering company, the Lechon Catering, is 16 years in business. So we're so blessed. Like, we're still in business. But some Filipino restaurants, they didn't even last for 2 years. Some people, like Marvin Agustin's restaurant, I think 6 months. They closed down. And he's associated with the Canadian chefs, but they're really good. So I said that's what I want to see Filipino restaurants to be in the mainstream. Because the Thai, the Japanese, they're already there. But Filipino, so we're still trying to be there. So
I feel like that's getting there. I mean, I grew up
in LA
in
too.
Pleasanton. I grew up in Pleasanton, and they have like bunso bread. They're starting to have like all different kinds of Filipino. It's starting, And Pleasanton's like predominantly white. You know what I mean? So for that to be there is kind of nice.
It's like a victory.
I think so.
For all Philippines.
Can I piggyback on this, because this is really interesting, right? Just hearing the thing that's common with all Filipinos, no matter where we grew up, is the willingness to help each other out. If I just met you and I asked you, hey, can you, automatic, right?
Yeah.
But we're so good at word of mouth. We need to be better at who is championing our stories, who's being your megaphone for the stories that you're trying to tell, right? And I'm looking at these two guys, and they have these talents that can be more of a megaphone for our Filipino stories.
Yeah.
Why are Filipino American businesses not as successful in certain areas? Tell that story. Right? We're good at telling stories to each other, but we're not great at telling stories outside this community. How can we be better at that? I don't know if it's marketing, but it's not like we have to be perfect at like what are the steps we need to take. Somebody just has to be a megaphone for us, because in the Filipino culture, it's if you speak too loud, it's not a good thing, right? You're not supposed to stand out. So it's really innate in our blood. But now we're shifting towards a way that the tighter that we get, the more people that we know, how are we gonna tell those stories so that people can actually hear the impact of what we're doing, and not just this is a great place to eat food, but this is a great place that tells this specific story, and I want to be part of that.
That's cool.
Right?
That's a great point. And I think, like, what if this cultural center, like had a hub for that, and it brought in like young students who are like freelancers, or like people who would just volunteer their time to create these stories, and like continuing with what you were saying. I agree. I mean, I was looking for like things online, and I can't really find it. But are you guys familiar with Fun Cheap SF?
No.
Yeah.
I love that site. It has everything.
FunCheapSF.com. So things that you could do on a shoestring budget.
Yes, and it's like it has everything, like free things, and but it's not. It expanded. It's also in East Bay, and I look at that all the time when I want to like do something, but I don't want to spend a lot of money, which is often. So I mean, it would be great if maybe this cultural center also had like a really great website where people can easily feed their events, and they just post it on there for free. And it could be all anyone that's anything related, because Fun Cheap SF, it's everything. Like it has art, it has like everything you could think of. So like I even with Faripa, we have all these events, but I don't really have a place outside of my own network to advertise it. Like we're doing we're combining with Rotary, and we're gonna do like a fundraiser for H2 Open Doors in the Philippines, where they help with clean water, fundraising for clean water in the Philippines. But like it'd be cool if we could have a place to where we could all talk about like all the little things that we're doing, because everyone's doing something awesome, and I'm like I would love to hear more about it.
Have you been to
I would love to be part of that too. She mentioned that to me.
Okay, I know you too.
Ooh, okay.
Are you involved with entrepreneur?
Okay, cool.
I tried to go to the one last year, but it was my husband's birthday, and this year it was Steph's thing.
I'm gonna speed through this. Is this okay with everybody?
I have to pick up my son.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Okay.
See ya.
So the other questions is thank you so much.
Questions?
I knew 20 minutes was not long enough for this. I was like, you're gonna need more time. What benefits would encourage you to participate within a network of business owners and professionals? So I think this is the thing that we're talking about. Like, what kind of network does that look like? Is it meetings like this? Is it like having this Philippine exchange? Is it having more events? I've noticed even just here in Daly City, South San Francisco, in San Mateo County, there's not all the events are San Mateo heavy. Right? Like a lot of stuff is over there, and there's not a lot of stuff happening here. And I honestly think that might be because there's failure to organize, right? So I think like having something like Philippine Exchange could be helpful. But what other kind of networking opportunities do you guys think would also be helpful? Like besides Entrepreneur and having something like this?
I think what Jocelyn pioneered, which is the small business
Commission.
I think that's good, and that just started recently. I think tell you the truth, there's a lot out there. Yeah, just like what I mentioned, we have Kusinero Alliance,
Yeah.
we have Entrepreneur. The Kusinero Alliance po, they're more younger people. I'm actually one of the oldest.
Yeah.
Over there,
You're
yeah.
ate. Super ate.
Yeah, with Jason and Ronnie, with Joanne. Jocelyn is part of the Entrepreneur, but you know, I think it's both an advantage that you're from Daly City, but there's no, just like what I said, there's no Daly City thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are also a lot of businesses, just in San Mateo County, that can and should be also included, not just Daly City. I mean, I think we have a lot of Filipinos here. How I'm gonna focus on this one. How what benefits would encourage you to pursue? We're here. I'm here. I mean, in terms of being encouraged and being present, I think it's just a matter of what's going on. Sign me up. We're doing it already, and there's this thing about I'm not sure if you know. OMG! I was just in the Philippines. So I stayed there for about a couple of months, right? And so Jollibee right now. Off record. Off record.
Turn it off real quick.
Jollibee is trying to. Well, they're the fifth largest retail food now in the world.
In the world.
Yes.
Global.
Oh, they want to be number one. If you can beat them,
That's awesome.
buy them.
Yeah.
So they bought the franchise of Panda Express in the Philippines. They bought Coffee Bean. That
In the Philippines?
no.
Here.
Yes, in LA based, 500 stores. So now, I mean, it's a good thing. I actually worked for Jollibee for a couple of years. I was a marketing officer. I worked at Jollibee here, first U.S. Branch. My background in the restaurant, actually, I learned a lot from them. But anyway, they want to be the number one. They want to beat Starbucks. Now, am I for it? I'm a small business. How can I compete with that? I will compete with them by creating and producing entrepreneurs, small businesses. Be your own leader. Open your own businesses. Not because I'm not for them. No, it's good. They're doing a lot of good things. I mean, I come from that background. But at the same time, aspiring entrepreneurs, and if whatever we can do to help, we will do it. So in terms of, and also one of the things that we don't recognize is that there's not a lot of things happening, and then we come here together in this kind of meeting. This is already a momentum, so it's a good thing. It's just a matter of, hey, it's happening now. Maybe because now we're ready, now we're prepared. We bring on our resources together, and let's start.
But a question too is like, how does someone who's not really involved in the Filipino community, how do they find out about this?
I didn't. I wish I did. You kind of have to learn on your own, and Kuya Willie knows that. That it's not easy.
If that's the answer, then that's fine.
Right.
Like, that just means that whenever we get to these meetings, like, hey, you got to do your research. Like, if you really want it, you got to.
But
do
at the
it,
same time,
right?
yes. But there are resources out there that you can take advantage of, or even like I went to when I was just starting out, I went to Boracay.
Restaurant.
But like I would ask the owner, man, I'm an aspiring, restaurateur, and he said that the best encouragement I can give you is discourage you.
Wow.
Because it's difficult, and you know what it means. And now I say the same thing. You want to start a restaurant? Don't. And the reason why we say don't, we want to see how much you're motivated.
So I'm gonna ask like one more really important question. I at least want to
Go for it.
have this so that we can answer this. But recognizing how busy folks are with your guys' business right now, we've talked about it, right? Like you guys are signing up. You guys want to do the mentorship. You guys want to have internships as well. Hopefully we could have that happen. But what amount of time would be feasible for folks to commit? Ooh.
Like twice a month.
Twice a month.
Depends on the ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I think specifically it's like internships. It's like what, like how can you guys collaborate with that, put together a program for that, and what kind of internships could you offer?
Get back around to this table.
See, yeah, this table likes to talk.
Yeah, we talking.
This table thinkers.
Worse.
Thinkers.
I've let everyone else talk. It's just with me and you. We're always talking over each other. Yeah, and then this. Yeah, I let everyone else talk.
But dull, dude.
Yeah, so I think that's something to keep like thinking about,
I would
right?
love to hear, like, if we could kind of go around the table,
Yeah,
like,
so she's saying
realistically.
twice a month.
Like,
Yeah. I think once a month for me.
Once a month.
Once a month. Once a month. Once a month. Once a month.
Once or twice a month when I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be living at the center, so
The father of the house. The father of the
day.
house.
And then as far as the people who are owning businesses here, I mean, are you guys open to having interns from the Filipino Culture Center in your businesses? Is that something you guys can do?
You know what we do, and this is a little bit good and sad.
Yeah.
We are in partnership with MEDA, Mission Economic Development Agency, which is the #1 Latino foundation. There's no Filipino foundation.
Well, maybe that's what we need to do.
That's
right?
insane,
This is
right?
something that's
Like
gonna build.
we are in partnership with them, and I'm like, well, where's the Filipino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Although I don't have any
Yeah, I mean,
opportunities now.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Cool. Does anyone have experience with or know past or current youth development programs, initiatives, and if yes, are there particular aspects that stand out or that work well? I think we've already answered that. Yeah. So I think that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else to say? Or
Nice meeting you.
anything?
Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Marketing. If you could find
Marketing,
someone
yeah.
who could like who's like a or you know
Yes.
someone could at least. I think the biggest
Looking
part
at
is
Michael. I'm like,
finding
Michael,
someone.
I know.
let's make stickers and flyers and
Like
websites and everything.
Yeah, to organize it. Because really, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what that I feel is going to solve in terms of getting everything. If I heard about it more,
Yeah.
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 And then it's something I could share on Facebook.
Yeah, something easily like just forward.
Make it easy for the non-tech savvy.
I have a question.
May nakuha na sila.
So let's say, I know for Steph, it's very difficult logistically to like get spaces, right? Now we have a network of people. We're like, dude, can we use your space during this month to collaborate? Like maybe that can.
I would love to see a rotation in that because then at least people who go to Chilog that never been there,
That's right.
people will go to Habab. Yeah.
We have questions for you guys.
A rotation of like
Offering your space for meetings, for everything.
So working with staff, it's very difficult.
Do you know
Find a
that
venue.
just walking distance from here, 2 blocks away from In-N-Out, we have a whole warehouse.
you have a warehouse.
We have a warehouse.
Chilog
I'm
warehouse.
sorry. Oh my God, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
and we're closed Sunday, Monday. So FYI, we're actually helping out La Kusina. The chefs that
Nice.
wanting to have their own space and things like that. So it's open Sunday and Monday. And all the stores we have 3 stores. We're closed Sunday, Monday, and that's available for
Whatever.
Anything.
Oh, by the way, Mondays we have our class going on, the leadership
the-
program.
Oh, good.
That's so
Yeah, and I was telling, I think Lisa, that it's open for anyone.
Anyone?
If you're an entrepreneur, and these materials we provided for free for City College of San Francisco.
I need to
and I'm the one
get
teaching.
the
So,
information. So
Can we just show up on Mondays?
How do we get information on that?
well, one, you're gonna
Tell
get
them
a California certification if you're employed with us. However, you can sit in. You're free to join us if you just want to learn.
Like be a
Monday
fly on
6
the wall.
p.m.
What is
Yeah.
it called? Chilog University?
Chalog School of Leadership.
I know, I say it again.
Chalog School of Leadership.
Yeah.
But
Chalog
it's
School of
only
Leadership.
once a week. Only once a week for 1 hour. You have to be there on time because.
What time is this?
start
Where
on
is
time.
it?
Monday.
Colma, just right here.
Colma, and then-
Chalog's Colma.
So you have to go per session? Like you just started a session?
You know what? Every session is you'll get a lot already.
Okay, so just come.
What time?
Okay.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. What day?
6 p.m.
Monday.
Mondays
At
at
Chilog's.
At Chilog's?
Right up the street from here, just like 3 or 4 doors over. Yeah.
On this street.
Cool. Thank you,
Mondays,
guys.
so we can just come. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Anything else? Last comments?
Produce video for promotion.
Hey, yeah.
Produce video.
Promotion, more marketing.
Yeah,
All these
I'm
things going
gonna
on.
put a plug. I'm gonna put a plug in.
Yes.
I'm also a freelance filmmaker. Yes. I'm part of a company called Paper Tongue Productions. They do short films. I am an first assistant director with them. I'm also a videographer.
What kind of films?
So-
is it like more Filipino culture?
It's called Roots and Wings. And it's Roots and Wings. Our first ever episode, we featured Yana Gilbuena. Do you guys know her? I think she knows her. But she's a Filipino chef here that did 50 states in 1 year, going from state to state, making Filipino food using their like local whatever it is. Yeah,
That's cool.
Paper Tongue Productions. They're all female. We're also an all-female film crew, which is very rare. Not completely, just so you know. Yeah, because we still add people, but majority all Filipino and people of color, which is good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're looking for stories to tell and just different.
I'm always looking for stories to tell, especially like her story, his story, yours, Michael's story, your story. Absolutely. That's cool. Always looking for stories. Anyway, so that's it. Cool.
So nice to meet everyone.
So we should get together, I think. Yeah.